Guys, if you ever find yourself driving, be extra careful because sometimes bad things can just happen. Hello everyone, my name is ForeverElite. Welcome back to Story Saturday. Now guys, I'm currently not here. Yes, I'm pre-recording this because I am at a retreat that started last Friday, or actually yesterday I suppose. But anyway guys, I do hope you enjoy this Story Saturday and let's get right into it. So this actually happened last Wednesday. Now, yes, it's extremely recent. It was the 12th of October of 2016, and it happened last Wednesday, so it was pretty scary. Now, the entire day, it was just completely terrible weather. It was thick fog everywhere. It was about 40 degrees Fahrenheit out, and it was just miserable, miserable weather. It was honestly horrible. Now, I, of course, was wearing my usual outfit of a t-shirt and basketball shorts because, I have no fashion statement, and I was like, okay, whatever, it's cold weather, but I'm sure it'll come over soon. It'll just blow over and I'll be fine. And so I just wore my normal outfit of t-shirt and basketball shorts. And then I was driving very, very cautiously to my college Spanish class. So yes, I do take college classes, and I was driving on this stretch of road to get to my college class. So I got through all my college class, and we were actually able to leave early. So I was like, okay, cool, this is nice. I'll be able to get out of this class early. And then I went and actually talked to my friend for about half an hour, and then I was like, okay, I just got to get home. So I walk out to my car. I have my car parked in a pretty decently far parking lot, so I'm like freezing my tail off, just trying to get to my car. And then I need to start driving home. So I start to drive home, I'm just, playing my music, and the fog is so bad. Like, it was so foggy today. The fog was so bad to where you could only see about 30 feet in front of you. And when you match this with driving, it's an extremely hazardous thing to do. So I start to drive, and I get onto this long stretch of road that I actually do drive on about 7 times a week. So it's this 2-lane road. It has emergency lanes on both sides. And let's just say I know this road very well because I drive on it a ton. Now the speed limit on this road is about 65 miles per hour. It's a 13-mile stretch of road that you drive on, at least I drive on. And so I begin to drive home. Now I'm a pretty good driver and I'm really cautious. So I start to drive, and normally I drive pretty quickly, but at this point I was driving about 55 miles per hour. So that's about 10 below the speed limit, just because I wanted to be extra cautious, just because I couldn't see much in front of me at all. And so I'm like listening to my music, I'm chilling, and I'm just kind of thinking about the day, thinking about Spanish and whatnot. Then I decide it would probably be a good idea to turn on my brights. Now my brights on any car is just an extra set of really bright lights that let you see farther in the nighttime or in the fog. And I'm like, okay, I'll turn these on. There's no one around me, because normally you don't turn these on when you're inside the city just because they're so bright. They can harm other people's eyes when they're trying to drive. So basically I turn on my brights just because there's no one around me and it's super thick fog. And this allowed me to see about 10 feet ahead of me. So finally I'm driving, listening to my music, and I notice a utility truck ahead of me. Now this was about a white pickup truck. It was driving decently slow, a little bit slower than I was. I was in the left lane, he was in the right lane. People in the left lane tend to drive a little bit quicker, and it's just kind of the unwritten rule that the left lane is where quicker drivers drive. So I'm in the left lane, and he's in the right lane, and all of a sudden he starts to brake. Now I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. People don't really brake unless there's either a cop ahead or there's something ahead that they need to slow down for. So all of a sudden, I start to see these dark obstructions in the road, and I'm like, weird, that kind of looks like a car. And I realize that these are cars blocking the lanes. Now remember that there's 2 lanes on this road, but these cars are blocking the lane. They're completely stopped. They're completely motionless, and I'm still going 55 miles an hour. Now these obstructions are about 40 feet away, so when you're going 55 miles per hour, 40 feet is close to nothing. So I immediately hit the brakes, and I just come to a dead stop. And that was one of the most scary situations I've had to deal with driving at all so far. It was extremely scary. So upon getting closer, I was about 10 feet away from smashing into these cars if I didn't stop. But I will notice that it was a 4-car collision because they weren't able to see through the fog. So it was a massive accident. It was a 4x4 truck with a 20-foot long trailer and about 3 other smaller cars. And they all just crashed into each other. So that was pretty chilling, to say the least, to see that happening. So many smashed cars. And let's just say I was about 10 feet away from smashing into these cars at 55 5 miles per hour. If I were to hit these cars, I probably would have died or gotten extremely hurt, since I was going pretty fast and I was about to hit a completely motionless car. Now, I'm very glad that I'm surviving and I'm here making this video, because this was probably the most scary situation I've had to deal with while driving so far. Now, I do have to admit, it is partly my fault for going pretty fast, despite going 10 miles under, which I do admit was my fault, because yes, I was going 55 miles per hour and it was a 65 mile per hour zone, so I was still going decently slow compared to the speed limit. But when you're in thick fog like that, it's a very good idea to slow down extremely, and 55 miles per hour is still pretty fast. And if I was going much faster, the outcome would have probably been very, 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 very bad. So needless to say, I was pretty shaken up, and I drove with the rest of the traffic past the accident. And from that point, I spent about 35 minutes in heavy bumper-to-bumper traffic. We were moving inches at a time. And this was because, as I kept driving in this bumper-to-bumper traffic, I saw 3 more accidents. So that was a total of 4 accidents because of this fog, just because people weren't able to see what was happening. And I was about driving, I spent about 35 minutes and gained about 1 mile of ground, just saying that's how far this traffic was stuck. And I drove past 2 cars that had collided in an intersection. So it was a bad day to drive. I'm just saying that. So I'm still really shaken up. And finally I make my way back, and I make my way back to my house. And as I turn onto the street by my house, there's a bunch of parked cars that are lining the street. But one of the parked cars was not parked. And this car did not see that I was coming, and he basically drove out right in front of me. Now, once again, I almost crash, and this time it was only a minute away from my house. So this guy did not see me and blindly drove right in front of me, and I nearly T-boned him. And so what can I say? The moral of the story, guys, is fog freaking sucks. Fog is horrible when you're driving. If any of my subscribers are at that driving limit age, I just have to say, guys, please be very careful while you're on the streets. It's very, very scary, and I'm very fortunate to be still talking to you guys as a YouTuber here. But nevertheless, guys, I do hope you guys enjoyed this. Be careful. That's what I have to say. Just be very careful. And I will be playing this new Halloween game, which is extremely difficult, I've heard. And I hope to be able to win that for you guys. But nevertheless, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. I will see you guys in a next video. Bye, guys.